Do you know what this is? That's right. It's Goku. Do you know what this is? Is that an otaku? Wrong. Is this my friend Jeremy, who I met in film class in college? The guy who carved a pentagram into his wrist in high school and then years later found God? The same guy who spends his winters as a snowboard instructor and his summers as a zipline instructor? Is that what this is? Also wrong. I have no idea who this is, and I don't have a friend Jeremy. The only thing we know about this person is that they are dressed as Goku, and they seem to be at a convention. Probably an anime convention. What about this guy? That looks just like Kratos? That's sick? That's amazing. Is this person obsessed with God of War? Guys, I don't think so. I think he's a professional. I think this is his job. Yeah. Look. At Mall Cosplay. He does this kind of thing all the time. I don't think God of War is necessarily his thing. I think there's nuance to the interest. I play a lot of video games. Metal Gear Solid 3 is one of my favorite video games. Does that mean I love Metal Gear Solid 3 and talking about it to anyone who will listen? Absolutely not. If I'm asked to talk about my interests, I might not even think of a video game or a movie or shows, and I like all those things. But it's not something that I would think to talk about. Talking about movies, talking about these things isn't interesting to me. What I want to talk about, what's interesting to me, is the projects I'm working on, just work in general, things that keep me busy. You ask me what I've been up to lately, I'm not going to talk to you about a show I watched. I'm not even going to remember to. But I'd love to talk to you about this new video I shot or this class that I'm taking. But what if I'm wrong? What if I'm actually just afraid of being misunderstood? Because I've been misunderstood for most of my life. I take pride in my work and how I spend my time. But you can't know that if I'm not always talking about it. If I talk about something that I find trivial, you might get the wrong idea. You might think of me as a fanboy or a gamer. And even if I were those things, I'm not just those things. And the thought of you pegging me as a one-dimensional character and not an entire person scares me. I read a nice quote online that went, "It's not the label, it's the stigma that uneducated people have with those labels." People think really nasty things about groups of people. Furry, goth, emo, gamer, derogatory. Sometimes when you hear that label, you might think less of somebody. Maybe you like them less, or maybe you just don't want to dig deeper. You stop at the surface. When we're talking about me, you're new here, and I'm scared that if I don't represent myself correctly and accurately, you'll get the wrong idea. But I do like talking about video games and movies and shows with my close friends. Probably because I'm not afraid that they are going to get the wrong idea. They already know other aspects. They know more of the picture, and they aren't going to just think of me as this one thing. They're not going to think I'm obsessed with something when I really just find it a little interesting right now. And that's important to me. This sounds like I'm afraid of what other people think. And I am. I think we should care what other people think. I'm not the main character. You're not the main character. If you're doing something that I think is harmful, you should at least consider not doing it. Maybe don't stop what you're doing because of what I think, but think about it. You should care to some degree. But I would have an easier time in my life if I were less afraid of being misunderstood and more okay with the fact that I'm definitely going to be misunderstood. That's fine. You're not going to get it all the time. Some of you might. And that's cool. That's good enough. I should be more open to being misunderstood. And I've never thought that until right now while shooting this video. I wrote something else to say, but that just came out. So does this mean I'm going to start talking about anime with the next person I see? Probably not. That doesn't sound fun. But I will probably try to be more comfortable asking questions that I actually want to ask rather than being afraid that they will think it's boring. Which would still be a step in the right direction. Anyway, do you like talking about shows or anime or movies or games to anyone that'll listen? Why is that? What do you get out of it? What do you enjoy about it? Like, genuinely sell me on it. Maybe you can help me find a way into that part of the world. Maybe I can enjoy that too. If somebody can connect the dots for me, because I just don't see it yet. Do you agree with me on some of this? Do you agree with me on none of it? Speak on that. Go on. Tell me. What's your favorite show? Why don't you want to tell me about your favorite show? Either of those things. Do you like RuneScape or making bread? Click somewhere on the screen to see me talk about that instead. Bye-bye.